Okay, welcome back to the Dominate Radio Show, 93.7 FM, Lynchburg, Virginia. We have someone very incredible on the line, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. Kevin, how are you doing?
Thank you very much. Wonderful to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being on the show.
We're pumped to have you.
Yeah. So my first question, I was watching a YouTube video of you playing the guitar. And Nate was a drummer for Good Charlotte and some music-heavy show. So what type of music do you like?
You know, I like all kinds of music, but I like the classic blues, and I like sort of a blues jazz mode, and I've been playing guitar, my whole life. I'm just a frustrated rock star. I just can't seem to make it.
Is it because you don't have enough hair for the long hair bands?
Well, I'm starting a new trend. I think this whole bowling ball look could be really hip.
Well, I've got no hair and play drums, so we should just start something.
You guys can link up.
Yeah. Hey, it was killer. By the way, what we saw of you playing, you were rocking it out.
Well, whenever I get to meet a rock star, most recently it was one of the guys from Guess Who, Randy Bachman, the guy that did Taking Care of Business. I said to him, listen, I want to interview you about the music business, but really what I want to do is play some blues with you. He said, I'll screw the interview. Let's just rock. So we taped that, and he was really good. That guy is a really good guitarist. What's amazing about some of these guys that made it in the 70s, they can still knock it out, and it's so much fun. I mean, if there's any benefit of celebrity, it's being able to rock with these guys. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, I've got to ask you, I love a good wine, and I know you do as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the O'Leary Fine Wine?
Yeah, what's really interesting is I've been collecting wines a long time, and what's remarkable in terms of percentage returns, it's one of my best asset classes. And I've got 5 different cellars around the country, and I buy a lot of Bordeaux's and Burgundies, and I've been doing this for a long time. So I finally wanted to put my hand out to try and blend a wine myself. And, in North America, it's been the last sort of 25 years of the Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Pinot grapes have come on their own and become very, very good and competitive to what they grow in France. And in the summer of 2010, if you remember how hot that was in certain parts of the country, the Pinot, the Cabernet Franc grape ended up being the best in the world. The best in the world came out of North America. And I wanted to blend a classic Bordeaux blend with that output. And I found some production that I was able to buy and create my own label. And that my red wine, the O'Leary Cabernet Franc Sauvignon Merlot blend, has won 5 international awards, not because of me or my name, but because in the summer 2010, it was the hottest ever. And so that's what you have. If you're into wine and you make it a hobby and you find an opportunity like that, you got to go nuts. And I'm just so proud of it.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Have you ever had any Mad Dog 2020?
There was a time I couldn't afford any good wine. I used to buy it by the gallon in California. It was just $2 chuck, that stuff.
I love it. So I want to ask you, how did your involvement with the Shark Tank come about?
So I got a phone call from Mark Burnett's people. I had been working on a show called Discovery Channel Project Earth as the investor host. We shot in 38 countries around the world, and one of the production staff saw that and mentioned that this format, which is actually called Dragon's Den in England, was going to come to America, and then Mark was going to rename it Shark Tank. Would I like to come and talk about it? So I flew out and had breakfast with him at a place called Shutters in California, and we were only going to meet for half an hour. We ended up talking for 3 hours, I think. I really enjoyed it, and I hung in there for the pilot, and for the first 3 years, the show was doing nothing. It was just, and apparently that's how it happened in England too. Nobody watched, and then in year 4, something happened. It's a tipping point, and now the show's on fire.
Yeah,
we love it.
Yeah. Yeah, so was it your concept or was it Mark's concept?
No, the show is actually owned by Sony from Japan. It started there as a show called Begging for Money, where Japanese people would just get on a carpet and just beg for money, and then it morphed into Dragon's Den in England, still owned by Sony, where it's one of the top shows in the country, going into its 9th season. And that's rare for reality TV. And now in America, the same thing's happening here. This thing is taking off. It's what's remarkable about it that really I'm so proud of is that, you know, I get stopped in the middle of the street or in an airport recently by a 10-year-old girl that says to me, "Are you that mean guy on Shark Tank?" And I said, "Well, I'm not mean. I just tell the truth." She says, "I want you to know I'm coming on the show." And I said, "Why would you want to do that?" And her mother catches up with her. This happened in LaGuardia. And she says to me, "I want to be free one day." So she'd already made the assimilation between being successful as an entrepreneur and, you know, the personal freedom you get from being wealthy at the age of 10. Well, that's incredible. I mean, that's a family watching that together. So that's the big news for us. The demographics, 9-year-olds to 90-year-olds, and huge numbers. So it's great.
That's great. I mean, nothing going back to the name. Shark Tank is appropriate, but you gotta love beg for money.
Yeah, beg for money. That might be something.
Begging for money is very appropriate. I'm not sure it's a good North American name, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I like the idea with the geishas maybe in the background, like a Japanese idea. So that was actually my next question was, I mean, what is this like now? You like going to fill up at the gas station and people are running over to you, like, I got this idea for this gadget. I mean, are people like, I know you mentioned the girl in the airport, but is this common for you to like go places and people are pitching you things?
I get pitched stuff every day, and you know, the thing about Shark Tank is all of us are professional investors, basically. We're either running businesses or investing our capital. And so it's not a foreign thing to me to have people pitch me ideas. What I've learned, though, over the last 4 years is that if I'm going to invest in a startup idea or a consumer good or product, I want it on Shark Tank. Let me give it to you by the numbers. You know, you're talking about an audience of close to 7 million people. So if you wanted to buy a 30-second commercial and reach that many people, you're going to pay somewhere between $250,000 and $350,000, depending on what time of the night you're doing it at. So if I can get a product or service or deal on for 13 minutes, that's $4 million, $5 million worth of product integration that I don't have to pay out of the company's balance sheet for advertising. So of course I want to put it on Shark Tank. This thing has become the American Idol of venture capital. You can launch companies on it. You can sell millions of dollars of product on it. Look at what happened with Talbot Teas. It was only on for 8 minutes, and a month later, Jamba Juice bought it. That was one of the most successful deals ever on Shark Tank, just because it got on the show.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's a huge launching pad.
Can I ask you, what's your, like off the top of your head, what's the worst investments that's ever been pitched to you?
I would have to think that it was the alarm clock that cooks bacon beside your head.
Think about it. Nate Live had a bad idea. I'm a big bacon lover.
Yeah, but you know, you're sitting there asleep and your bed catches fire from the grease that's coming out of it. It's a frying pan alarm clock. I mean, I offered to buy it off the guy. It was so stupid. It was only one prototype. It was so insane. I said, "Okay, listen. No, I'm not going to give you $500,000, but I'll give you $1,000 for the alarm clock." And he said, "Never." And all of a sudden, I'm in a bidding war with the other sharks because everybody wanted such a stupid idea as a trophy.
That's awesome.
Let's talk about this. So the other sharks, I mean, you got 5 big personalities, and they're all used to being, you know, the center of attention in their own right, in their own business, and they come on the show, and they're being overshadowed by Mr. Wonderful. So it's is there any, like, ego ever an issue off camera? I mean, with the different sharks.
Well, you know, there is a little bit of that because everybody there is a self-made multimillionaire. They've been successful in one sector or another, which makes the show interesting in the first place. And you know, every once in a while, a great deal comes along that I actually do want to invest in, and I don't like it when Barbara gets in my way or Cuban tries to outbid me. You know, it's sort of, I'd rather have those guys just sit there and be quiet while I do a deal. But that's not what happens. And, you know, obviously, you have to kind of work your way through it. And sometimes I collude with them. Sometimes I compete against them. I mean, the outcomes, it's real because it's real money. It's our real dollars. And I've had some really interesting successes. Venture investing is so risky. You have no idea which one's going to work. You have to put a lot of deals out. You know, basically 1 in 15 work, but they work so well they pay for the other 14 dogs.
That makes sense. And have you ever actually gotten caught up in a competition trying to outbid one of the other sharks, and then it turned out that the investment or the product was horrible?
You know, what happens is that the process of the show is rather interesting because it's real money. I've never seen these people before you have. I mean, people think we've got a lot of background information. We know nothing. They come out, they pitch their deal. The actual pitch can be as much as 2 hours long. You see 8 minutes of it on television. And then I send one of my teams out to do due diligence. I've got a whole group of people working for O'Leary Ventures that go and check the company out and get the information. And very often, you know, the deal will close as many times as it won't based on what happens in due diligence. And so you learn a lot after, you know, the show, and then you maybe spend a month or two doing due diligence. You learn more about the market, about the people. And then eventually what happens is you close. And it may be months before that happens, but you've learned a lot. And very often, this is probably 30-40% of the time, I'll end up bringing another shark into the deal. For example, I'll learn that Barbara has something that's important to the company or has knowledge in that space. There's a deal that I'm closing right now in the confectionery area, and I'm seriously considering giving Barbara a piece of it because she did work in a similar one, and she has a lot of knowledge, so I might, you know, piece her in. We work together. It's not like it's a constant competition. We want to be successful.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys, I mean, you genuinely respect each other. It's not like, oh, this person is better than me in this area, or they might throw a shot on camera. And I know that, you know, I know television has to make it look like
drama sells.
Yeah. So I mean, but in all reality, you have a healthy respect for each other, for, you know, your fields.
Sure, I have a lot of respect for anybody that's made millions of dollars. They've done something right, and I have a lot of respect for any entrepreneur. But it doesn't mean I don't want to compete. I mean, I want to get my share of the deals, and I want to win occasionally. So it's not always warm and fuzzy. As I like to say, Barbara flies in on her broom every morning.
It seems like, for me, just from looking at your website, that you have a healthy understanding of the importance of PR. So let me pick your brain on that.
Well, I think, you know, I understand the PR game because I've been working in television for a long time. It's very important to get a consistent message out there. I mean, I'm known as being the mean shark, and I'm okay with that because my positioning on that is I always tell the truth. I never have to remember what I said when I tell the truth. So some people don't like it, and they end up crying. I don't care about that. It doesn't bother because I think it does bother me because in the end, you're going to cry tears on a bad business plan anyways. Either you do it in front of me or you do it in 6 months when you go bankrupt. It doesn't matter. I might as well tell you the truth about it, and that's what matters. So the PR process today, though, has changed a lot from what it was 10 years ago. I don't have to tell you guys that because of social media. I mean, the development of a story, even a big one, is very short-lived. I mean, you know, you get that out, and maybe it's hot for the morning, and then it's dead by the afternoon. So, you know, on Shark Tank, you know, I work with a whole team of publicists that are trying to keep our message clear and get the information out there, and it's worked. Obviously, we had to wait for 3 years before it worked, but now it's working, and I just get inundated with opportunities, and I have to be selective on which ones I do because I only have so many hours of the day.
You know, Nate's got an idea for a rear-loading washing machine.
Yeah, rear-loading. We've got several inventions that if we had more time, we'd pitch to you, like a rear-loading wash machine, an inflatable dartboard.
Yeah. The stained glass curtains.
Stained glass curtains. There's a lot out there.
Something to throw out there, you know.
Well, something to ponder.
You know, I tell you, for both you guys, I would keep your day jobs on that one.
We'll work on it.
Nate's last name is Spouts, so this is Spouts Fast 5. He has 5 quick questions for you.
Okay.
All right, ready to go. Last time you were in Walmart?
Last week.
Least favorite actress?
Oh, boy, that's a tough one. That's got to be... Jodie Foster.
Favorite rap song?
Favorite rap song? Anything by Tupac.
All right. All right. Favorite triangle?
My favorite
triangle.
Oh, the Bermuda Triangle.
Very well said. Best answer, yes. And finally, last question: Tony Danza or Tony Stewart?
Oh, Tony Danzo for sure.
Good call.
So you got 2 out of 5. There's actually right and wrong. So this is the last one as a bonus question.
Can $5 billion buy happiness?
Absolutely. 1 billion can do it. The other 4 make you even happier.
I do it.
Right on.
I do it. Check him out, KevinO'Leary.com. He's doing live shows. He's got 2 great books out. Kevin, thank you so much for being on the show.
You're the man.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.